Welcome to week 2 of the freshman cross-country build training log. We start out Monday, first day of the week, of course, June 15th. Me and Zach ran 40 minutes easy. He had a little bit of a longer run, so he kept going, and I just cooled down. We ran around these baseball fields by the condo in Moab. There was 2 fields, and they were connected. We'd run around the outfield on one of them, and then on the outfield to the other one, and then come to the third base here, and then we run along to the first base on the other one, and just keep running. That was repetitive, but it was fun, running with my brother. The average pace was 7:56, a little slower than we're going for. Not bad. That was in the morning before it got hot, but that day it got hot, and that was the day we were hiking through the Fiery Furnace. The Fiery Furnace is a big hike in Arches National Park. You have to have either a ranger go through, or you go through a certification process. You get your pass. We did that, and so we hiked it ourselves. The thing about it is you're hiking through these slot canyons formed. I don't know how they're formed. I think it's a mixture of the plates moving together, whatever it's called, and pushing. I think it was like this, pushing some stuff up like that, and then also water eroding through these really deep, really skinny canyons of sandstone. You're hiking through it, and you're 40 feet down into the canyons, and so GPS doesn't work. It's just rocks all around you. You can't get helicopters down there. Can't find you. They can't get down there. So if you get lost, you're like done for. It's over for you, But that was fun. We climbed up a bunch of rocks, hiking through stuff. It got really hot. Really enjoyed it. I find it's the uncomfortable situations that you remember the best, and those are the best times. So yeah, Fiery Furnace. Tuesday, June 16th, the first workout of the block. It was a fartlek style. I did 2 sets of 6 reps of 20 seconds on and 40 seconds off. I was averaging about 5-minute, 10-second pace for the ons, and it was probably a little too slow in the off. Took the rest a little too easy. Running with Born to Run track club for over track season, those workouts are always hard. You learn, you don't take a rest for granted. And so I wasn't taking that rest for granted, but I realized it was just 12 reps of 20 seconds afterwards. So yeah, honestly, a lot of fun. First workout in a while that's been fun because we got to rev the engine, and yeah, feeling fast. I know I got some videos on the meta glasses, probably tracking my every move. Yeah, the rest of Tuesday, we went into town. Mom and Dad went to drive through Canyonlands, which is a national park nearby Arches and Moab, and it's just this giant canyon that's like, from what they said, it's like the Grand Canyon, but there's no fences or safety instructions or anything, so you could just like die. Yeah, so the rest of Tuesday we went to this place called the Gear Exchange, or some sort of thrift, but it was like all outdoor gear. And so that's like I was like in heaven there, because I love gear. I'm gonna design gear at some point in my life. I already have design gear. It's what I'm going to college for, as well as running. And so I'm a fan of Patagonia. I found a brown Patagonia button-up shirt and some Patagonia biking shorts. I want to get into biking, but got to have the right stuff. And I'm not sure Patagonia is the right stuff for biking or cycling. I think they only do mountain biking. But yeah, I love Patagonia, so I had to swipe the shorts. I think it was like $45 for both items, so not bad. Wednesday, June 17th, was rest day for me. I recorded a reel for Zach. My brother, he was doing a workout at a track we found. The high school had the most pristine track and field like we'd seen it in a while, and it was one of the best tracks ever. But I didn't get to run on it, but my brother did. And he had 4 miles at tempo, followed by 4 by 200 meters. Recorded that on the meta glasses and on my phone. I was riding the bike. The rest of the day, we road tripped from Moab, Utah, to Taos, New Mexico. And I drove a lot of it. It was kind of like, you go uphill, and then you go downhill, and then there's a sharp turn. And so I'm sure my family was scared when I was driving, because I would go and then not want to brake so much, because gas mileage in this economy is so important. I look down at the dash and I see average miles per gallon, and when I get in the car, it's like 23.2. It's a van, right? A heavy van, so it's not great. It is a Toyota though, so Toyota Sienna. And afterwards. I think it was like 24.3 or something. So I really helped out. That was one of my contributions to the family, was that gas mileage. But a byproduct of that was they were pretty. I think they were holding on in the turns because I would try not to slow down for the turns as much as possible. And you can feel when the car is kind of lifting up. The road's like this, you're turning, and then the car wants to go like that, due to inertia and all that science. Yeah, I kind of settled in and knocked out 4 hours of driving. I think that might have been my PR on the family road trips. I like to see how long I can go. I got this Black Rifle coffee company. I don't drink coffee that much. Only Sundays for church so I don't fall asleep, and then road trips so I don't fall asleep. Yeah, no, we got into Taos pretty late. It's like the sun is setting. All the shops are closed. All the restaurants. No, we can't really eat at the restaurants because my brother's allergic to like gluten and corn, and rice, tomatoes. So that's Asian food out, Mexican food out, American food out. Like we can only eat at like hippie places that are like, I don't know. There's not a lot of selections, but Mom does a lot of the cooking nowadays, and it's really good. So, yeah. So we get into Moab, or we get into Taos, right? And we get into this Airbnb. It's behind the honey shop, the Taos Honey Company. And we get in and we open the door, and it's like a little bit slanty. It's like behind and on top of the honey shop. And so open the door. It's hot, right? Go over to the thermostat, turn it down like 10 notches, and nothing happens. And we're like, okay, well, check the listing again, see if it says on here, no AC. And so we look on it and it says no AC. So like, okay, well, and so we get in and it's like, oh, we can make it work. And like the dishes are not cleaned and stuff. And then like there's dog hair on the bed, and, the afterwards, it was fine, We grew into it. We loved it. It was a vibe, a total vibe. They had like a bunch of old stuff. It was an old adobe house, and yeah, afterwards they're like, oh, it's new, sorry for the uncleanliness. Here's half your money back. So we're like, oh, fine. Great. They gave us some honey too. It was really good. Thursday, wake up in Taos, day one. I ran 40 miles for 40 minutes easy with Zach. 8:05 average. It was day after a road trip, so maybe we're not feeling too fast. That's fine, totally fine. It was easy effort. And we ran through the Native American reservation in Taos, unbeknownst to us, right? We'd go out 20, so come back, and then we come back and we pass a sign by a fence that says, we didn't see the sign. So we come back through, we look at the sign, and it says like, visitors unwelcome, no recording. And I was recording on my meta glasses, of course. What am I going to do? This is no recording or by order of the Taos Pueblo War Chief. So whatever that means. So ran pretty cool, like midday by the time we finish and eat breakfast and shower and get ready. And we tour the shops in Taos. So my brother worked in New Mexico last year, and he went to Taos occasionally. He loved it. And there's it's like a miniature artist colony there. And there's so much art. I bought a print of a Pueblo church, which I'll put a picture up. I love the confidence of the solid colors and the expertise of the shadows and the nighttime gradients and the contrast between the light church and the dark background and the colors that he uses, because it really, I think it captured a lot of the New Mexico spirit. And the solid colors are almost like arrogant, it's like I'm here, I'm where I'm supposed to be. And so it was love at first sight. Had to get it. I think it was like $14, which was the cheapest thing in Taos by at least $100. Cheapest art piece or print. I don't know. I don't think I could sell a print for like $150, but I saw some there that were selling a print for that much. Who knows? I talked to some really old artists about their art and their experiences, and the more I hang around the art community, I'm going to art college, so I think that number of hanging around art communities is going to skyrocket. So excited for that, but also I talked to these guys and gals, and they had so many stories about stuff they'd done, and it's like, some of it's like, yeah, did you really do that? And this guy is like saying, oh, I worked with this famous artist, and I was in New York, and I didn't know who he was at first, but after I did this piece with him, I saw it in the newspaper, and it was like this name. I was like, what? This is the guy I worked with. And I had a bunch of photos, but I lost them in a fire. This is the one experience you have, and you said you got photos, but now you don't have the photos. So, yeah, I don't know. But they seem to be pretty knowledgeable and pretty enthusiastic. So it was a lot of fun. Friday, June 19th, was a rest day. It wasn't scheduled to be a rest day, but we had 14-hour drive from Taos to Austin. I asked Coach, I said, hey, Coach, we got a rest day Sunday. Can I move easy run from Friday to Sunday and then switch the rest day from Sunday to Friday? I said, yeah, sure. So that's good. All right, we're road tripping, right? And 4 hours of sleep. I'm in the back driver's seat. And I pull out my phone and I see Terraria on there. I said, it's been a while since I played. I'll play. I'm not a big mobile gamer. I'll play Clash from time to time. But I load up the character and I play it all day. I think I had at least 10 hours of Terraria. And the phone got plugged in pretty early on to the car, and so it's charging. I listen to music in my headphones and then playing Terraria, and I beat a bunch of bosses. When I do play games, I'm very good playing games. But then I found out we're going through Clovis, New Mexico on the way back. And what's special about Clovis is that's where Charlie Crockett recorded his most recent album. And Charlie Crockett's my favorite musical artist. I'd like to say every single one of his songs at least once. Been to see him twice. I'm not a big crowd kind of guy, but I'll go to concert for Charlie Crockett. So Charlie Crockett, kind of outspoken against the recording labels in Hollywood and Nashville, especially Nashville. I can resonate with that because I feel like an inauthenticity coming from that side of country music. It's a whole thing. And so he's with Island Records, right? He was with them. That's a part of Universal Studios, I think, that owns Island Records. Island Records let him do this trilogy called the Sagebrush Trilogy. I have all 3 vinyls. It's a little thing. And so he's like, okay, did that, I'm done. So he produces his own album. Right, it's called Clovis. I think he spent $300K, and he dropped his second most recent album, the third part of the Sagebrush Trilogy, which is The Age of the Ram, which is an inspired tale. And like 11 days later, 14 days, less than a month later, he drops another album. He recorded this in Clovis, paid for it himself. It's a great album, one of his best, right? He recorded it at Norman Petty Recording Studios in Clovis, which is where Buddy Holly had his recorded one of his first tracks. A bunch of famous people now were starting off and they recorded there, and yeah, it's a whole thing. But now I think it's some sort of contract deal with Island Records or a different record company that he had that prohibits him from posting, working, doing music, some sort of thing while they're advertising Age of the Ram, which is his last one he did with Island Records. So it got taken down off of all the streaming platforms after like a week or two, and there's a movement now, underground, of course, called Free Clovis, and so that's the name of his album. It's the name of this town he recorded it in. I so wish I could listen to Clovis. I wish I downloaded it before it got taken down. A bunch of people did. If you go to Charlie Crockett, r/Charlie Crockett on Reddit, that's all it is, all it's talking about. He went to Nashville with like 2 semis of CDs, and he just, passing them out. A cool guy, Charlie Crockett. So yeah, we visited the Norman Petty recording studio. So Friday we get into Austin late, get home, set everything up, go to bed. Saturday, June 20th, 45 minutes easy. There's like a senior-led run from my high school that I'm no longer a part of. But I pull up, around this parking lot. We just do our warm-up dynamics and then we head out. And they're doing a long run and I have 45 minutes easy. And I run 7:33 average, which is right, bullseye. That's where I need to be. I needed to poop the whole time, which was uncomfortable. But we got back safely. No accidents happened. Saturday, that's when I edited the week 1 video, which was a learning experience, I'll tell you that. And I framed my print that I bought. Sunday, June 21st, 35 minutes easy. This was the run that I traded for Friday, right? So Friday I rest, Sunday I run. 35 easy alone, sadly. 7:46 average, and that's Father's Day, right? June 21st, Father's Day. So we went to church Sunday, of course. It was a great church. It was singing, back at home, of course, and like, oh, you're back, glad to have you back. Thank you. And it's like, we're getting back too. And we're like, oh, where are you? And they were like, oh, we were in New Mexico. And like, oh, we were in New Mexico too. And it's like, everybody's going to New Mexico. Yeah. So afterwards, we Went to Don's Barbecue in South Austin, and it was great. You know, I had a whole plate of pork ribs, ate my fill, and then we went to BJ's afterwards with a family friends, and ate my second fill. And then came home, got to bed. Saturday night and Sunday night, I got to bed on time, which is good. And it's one step closer to my biggest problem with training right now is sleep. So and getting a good sleep schedule going. And so yeah, I believe that's it. Follow my Strava if you want music suggestions. And this concludes the week 2 of the build for cross country training log.